Yes, I am in the wheelchair, which means I can't swim, I can't bicycle, I can't dance, and I can't play football. But somehow I've still managed to swim from Sweden to Finland, to bike from Sweden to Paris, to dance at parties. I still don't play in FC Barcelona, but at least I learned how to skydive. Today, in my talk, I want to share with you a motivational model that's made an incredible difference in my life and made it possible for me to do all these things. But before we get into that, I'd like to ask you all a question related to these. I want to ask you, has anyone in here ever committed to a New Year's resolution and failed? Raise your hands. I'd say about 80% of you. Science actually says that 90%, all the way to there, all you guys succeed, but 90% of us fail. How sad is that? That 90% of us fail the most important promise. The most important promise that we make to ourselves. And today I want to share with you a motivational model that has made all the difference in my life. About 5 years ago, people started asking me like, Aron, how were you able to do all these things? How were you able to swim across the sea, climb mountains and do all those things when you're in a wheelchair? And I started searching inside myself to try to find what I was doing, to try to find my own strategies of my thinking. And about 3 years ago, it dawned on me. And I can remember that moment. It was like a tear came to my eye. And I had it. I realized what I was doing. And the beautiful thing was that as I realized that I can share it with other people. And today I want to share that model with you. And that model is a flawless model that I've decided to call the GRIP model. The G stands for the goal, the reason, and the P, the perspective. Let's see how we can use this model with an actual example. Let's take Elon Musk. We all know Elon Musk, right? Tesla, SpaceX, doing all these kind of cool things. Elon's goal is to make us humans an interplanetary species. Pretty awesome. His reason is that he wants humans to be able to be excited about our future. And his perspective is that we only have one planet. And we're kind of good at messing up the one we have. So we need an extra. So where does this model come from? Where did I find it? What's it made from? To tell you that story, we need to go back in time. When I was 9 years old, I had surgery for cancer in my lower back. And that surgery meant cutting a lot of nerves going to my legs. And that's why I'm in a wheelchair today. About 3 years after that surgery, I went into the hospital to have a routine x-ray. And that x-ray showed that the cancer was back. It was back in my lungs. And this happened not once, not twice, but 3 times. The cancer came back. And when I was going into surgery that 3rd time, I said, no, I'm not doing it. I refuse. Because by then I knew how painful it was to wake up from surgery with a tube sticking out of your lung. Every breath hurts. I said to myself, I'm not doing this. And that day, my mom taught me the GRIP model. She said, Aron, you need to do this. If you want to be able to do sports again, if you want to be able to play with your friends again, you need to do this. And if you don't do it, you will die. What she did was she taught me goal to remove the cancer. She gave me the reason, sports and friends, and she gave me perspective, the perspective of death. I'm so thankful, so incredibly thankful to my mom for that day. Because that day completely changed my life. You may be able to do all the things that I've done in my life today. And one of the things I'm the most proud about is my first adventure. Biking 1,200 kilometers from Sweden to Paris. And I want to show you a video from that bike trip. And I want you to look at this video and see if you can see what my teammates do, because it's just incredible. Thank you. I still get goosebumps watching that video. By the way, could anybody hear what the camera guy said in the beginning? He said, Aron, don't give up on camera. And I'm like, what the heck, dude? My biggest adventure to date, almost 2 years ago, we skied 300 kilometers to the coldest place on earth. 300 kilometers to the South Pole. And what I'm the proudest about with this adventure, what makes me so proud is not only the adventure, but it's that we managed to raise more than $800,000 for kids with cancer. So let's look at the grip model. What if you're not wanting to send a rocket to Mars? What if you're not wanting to bike from Sweden to Paris? And what if you don't want to ski to the South Pole? How can we use this in our daily life? I use this every morning when I wake up. I live in Sweden, and for you who don't know it, it's a cold and it's a really dark place. Seriously, waking up in Sweden in November is not really nice. But when I, wake up, when my alarm goes off and I'm just sleeping and I wake up, and I just want to hit my alarm and make it snooze a few more times. When I turn over, I see a picture. A photo of me together with my friend Saga. And in this picture, Saga, she doesn't have any hair on her head because she's going through a similar kind of cancer that I had when I was a kid. And she won't make it. And she's the happiest, most awesome girl ever. And if she can be that happy, really super awesome, cool girl, considering what she's going through, then I can get out of bed. So let's go back to those New Year's resolutions. The classic New Year's resolution is to get in shape, right? To get those abs for the beach. So let's say the goal is the abs or the training and to be fit. The reason could be that, you want to get some girls on the beach, or you want to be healthier or something like that, right? And the perspective can be that if you don't do it, you will get sick, you will have a heart attack, and you won't see your kids growing up. Let's have a work example. Let's say you're a busy project manager, but you keep procrastinating. You keep just not doing what you're supposed to do. The goal is to do the specific project. The reason is that your boss tells you to do it. It's your job. And the perspective is, if you don't do it, you might lose your job, you might lose your apartment, and you might end up on the streets. And as I said, this is a flawless model. If you have a goal that's compelling enough, a reason that is strong enough, and a perspective that is scary enough. Let me tell you how I use this model in a little bit of a different way. A few years back, I learned how to do freestyle swimming, and I did a race, and after that, a friend came to me and said, Aron, you should join our project. We're going to do a relay swim from Sweden to Finland. This distance, 37 kilometers across the sea, and then we're going to do 6 kilometers per person. I figured, that's doable. But pretty quickly, I understood that I'm already booked for speaking these dates. So eventually I figured, can I do this myself? Is it possible? 37 kilometers across the sea with big waves, you're in a wheelchair and a beginner swimmer and can only use your arms. Is it a good idea? What do you say? No? But I figured, I'll try. So I got in the water at 4 o'clock in the morning, starting my swim. But about halfway through, the waves picked up. Can you see my friend Christopher in this picture, by the way? He's sitting in a kayak. It was like swimming in a washing machine. At this point, after having swum for about 6 hours, doing about 20 kilometers, that negative voice in my head got louder and louder and louder, saying, Aron, you're not going to be able to do this. Aron, the waves are too high. Aron, you're a beginner swimmer. Aron, you're in a wheelchair. Aron, on top of that, you're ugly. I was like, whoa, what has that got to do with anything? Seriously. But what got me through this was perspective from my mom. My mom, she was on the support boat. She was handling me water and energy drinks, and she did an amazing job for 1 hour. Then I was in the water swimming, looking over towards the boat, and I can see my mom, green in her face, hanging on the outside of the boat like this. She looked like the Hulk. She was seasick for 11 hours. Poor mom. I mean, it even went so far that she was sitting on the boat with this blue bucket, yelling, I just want to die. And when I heard my mom in the water, I asked myself, Aron, do you want to switch places with mom right now? And my answer to that was really simple. I'm cold, I'm tired, but I'm doing really good here in the water. It's much better than being seasick in the boat. And that perspective finally led me to the shore in Åland. that feeling. A wise man once said that motivation is like showering. You need to do it every day. My way to shower motivationally is through the GRIP model. And as I said before, it's a flawless model. It's a flawless model if you have a goal that is compelling enough, a reason that is strong enough, and a perspective scary enough. And if you do this, I can promise you that you can achieve your wildest dreams. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.